get weak. I don't cut it, make the scene. I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring. Gobble me, swallow me, drip down inside of me.
That's enough of that. Hi everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I did have a little bit of a hiatus. I went home for 2 weeks, just kind of like taking time to myself to just switch off for a little bit, which has been really nice. I think over the last 6 months I kind of realised, like, obviously lockdown has been intense, but I didn't struggle, whereas I feel like it's just kind of caught up with me. I had a nice 2 weeks off and all my filming stuff is here, so I am back and I'm doing a video today all about my job. So anyone that doesn't follow my socials already, I did a Q&A box and just said, like, what do you want to know about my job? So for me, I constantly get people asking me, like, how did you get your job? What does your day-to-day look like? Is your job as amazing as it looks? And I just thought it's so much easier if I just come on here and explain everything. So yeah, basically I'm just going to go through what I got sent on Instagram and answer them one by one. A lot of them are very similar and a lot of them were all about like my CV and what my CV looked like, which I feel like I need to do a completely separate video on, just because it took me so long to do it and I feel like I could sit here and answer it in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna sneeze. Hey, shoo! Jesus.
Coronavirus!
I could sit here and go through my CV and stuff, but it's just not going to be anywhere near as in-depth or helpful. So I am going to do a separate video talking all through my CV, what I made it on, why I did it, what my inspiration behind it was, how I got my job. Like, that is just like going to have to take another like 10-minute video just because it's just going to take me ages. I will go through it really quickly on here, but yeah, if you have asked me a question about like anything to do with my CV, then I'm going to do another video on that. So that's for a later date. So for anybody that doesn't know, I work in social media and influencer outreach for In The Style, which is a women's fashion brand. I've been there for 18 months now. Basically, I run all the social media. I help with content creation, but also just like make sure that what's being posted, the stories, everything. That's like obviously just a very quick roundup of what it is. I will go into it more down the line with the questions. You can head over to my social. I've kind of got a bit more on there, or you can follow my LinkedIn. Always need more LinkedIn friends.
Oh friend, oh friend.
Straight in with the questions. First question I've got is, what is your favourite part of your job? So anyone that knows me quite well will know that I've wanted to do presenting and interviewing since I was about 15 years old. Now that wasn't something that I went into In The Style thinking that was what I was doing. Social media has always been something that I've always kind of had a passion for, something that I've always been very good at. And yeah, it kind of was like a no-brainer. So for me, being able to do social as well as interviewing has been so amazing for me. I didn't really interview anyone during uni, so when I went straight into In The Style, the first person I interviewed was Danny Dyer, and she was just so lovely and just so easy to talk to. So it just was really reassuring, like that was still what I wanted to do. So without a shadow of a doubt, my favourite part of my job is any form of interviewing, whether it's at events, whether it's in the office, whatever it is, working with the people that I work with. I have quite good relationships with these people anyway. So for example, at the start of the year, I got given the chance to do interviews with people from Love Island, and I'd actually met most of them previously to the interview. Some of them I'd never met before, but obviously I either had a connection there or something I could talk about or something that we had like in common. And I feel like I always try and just like not make friends with them, but I just like to make people feel comfortable. And I feel like when you are being interviewed, whether you're Justin Bieber or straight out of Love Island, I don't feel like it depends on who the person is. Like, you want to feel comfortable, and I like the fact that I make people feel comfortable. I will insert just a short clip after this of like one of my favourite interviews that I did, and it was the last one I unfortunately did just before coronavirus hit. So we actually did an event for Jacqueline Joss's collection, and I got the chance to interview people at the event as they came in. Unfortunately, the microphone that we had didn't work, so that was a bit of a ball ache, but we subtitled it and it saved the day. And yeah, it was just an amazing event, and it was just an amazing opportunity for me to not only be there and get social content and like publicise the event, but also interview these people as they came in. I got to interview Nadine Coyle and got her saying flyer.
Working with flyer.
She said it into my mic and I was like, the microphone's not working, and she was like, flyer, but it was still so quiet that you couldn't hear it in the interview, so it actually got cut, which was devastating. Anyway, interviewing without a shadow of a doubt is my favourite part of my job. I will put a clip in here. Hi everyone, it's Saskia, and today I'm here at the In The Style Jacqueline Joss launch party in association with Iconic.
I'm not denying it, no.
not. It's a bit risque. It's like, yeah, it's exactly it. But this is like sexy spring vibes, but it's just, it was snowing this morning, so it wasn't exactly the... How excited are you? Like, it's sold out. Everything is sold out.
I can't believe it. I'm still in shock. Do you know how nervous I was?
Why?
Because I've been with Adam and Jamie, and they've been like, I can feel their nervous energy, and it's made me nervous.
No, I literally, we've been like, I think it was in 10
I couldn't
minutes.
believe it, like,
Everything's gone.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Everyone was like, oh, is there any restock? We're like, hasn't even actually launched yet. The VIP was at 12 and it actually launched at 6, so no. The question I have is it as glamorous as it sounds? Now, when I did the Q&A box, I literally said, like, ask me anything and I will be super honest and as honest as I can be. And I feel like this is one of the questions that I knew I was gonna get. And all I'm gonna say is I am in no way slagging off like my job or anything, but social media, as everyone knows, you don't have to work in it, is not real life. Social media is the best of something. You show people what you want to show them. And I just want to stress that because people always say to me like, your job looks so great, your job looks so fun, like, and I'm like, yeah, it is, but that's one event that we did in February, and the rest of the time I'm working my ass off, working weekends, working out of hours that I would never really share because no one cares. Like, people want to see when you're doing well and people want to see the juicy bits of your life, but nobody would really care about my day-to-day. So obviously I don't really share, apart from when I've got an amazing event, an amazing interview, something exciting. So I would say that the job isn't as glamorous as it looks, because from my Instagram, all you'll see is I'm interviewing this person, I'm at this event, I've got this, we're doing this. And it's like, yeah, you've got an event on Monday, but then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm working 9 till 9. I'm doing stuff at home. I'm doing stuff in office. I'm on shoot in like joggers with a bun on top of my head with no makeup on, stood next to this 6-foot model looking stunning. And I'm just like, this isn't what everyone sees. So I just want to say that, like I said, I'm not slagging it off whatsoever, but nothing is as glamorous as it seems. And there's hard parts and crappy parts to everything, but the good outweighs the bad. So yeah. So the next question is, did you always know what you wanted to do? So for me, social was definitely something that I tripped and fell into. So I graduated from the University of Sheffield with a journalism degree, got a 2-1. And I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I went into waitressing just to get out my overdraft, which I never really got out of until probably a few months ago. Eek. I got really lucky and I landed on my feet because I got Capital FM on my CV. So basically I did some work experience at Capital and then they really liked me. So I ended up staying for a festival and I worked as a news reporter at this festival. So I was getting up at like 5 a.m, getting down to the festival for 6 a.m, interviewing fangirls who were queuing there all evening for Shawn Mendes. It was the cutest thing ever. And very long story short, I was interviewing people, like just normal people, asking who they were here for and whatever, and then putting that on social platforms. So that is a part of a journalist's job. Like for a radio station, you would get like a reporter going down, talking to people, getting vox pops and doing other stuff. And then you would put it on social to be like, we're at this festival and this is what our crowd have to say or whatever. And for me, my day finished at like 12 and I ended up shadowing, and the people were really lovely, really helpful, could see that I was really keen and really passionate. And I ended up taking social on my own phone. I was taking like a slight Instagram to be a brag, obviously. And I think the editor, who is really lovely, he came up to me and was like, if you're gonna do that, you might as well do it on my work phone. And I was like, fair play. So the next day I literally did social for the whole of the Capital and the Capital Liverpool social, and that is how I got into social. So the answer to the question is no, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Social is something that I've always been passionate about, something that I've had a lot of experience with, but not something that I knew I always wanted to do. And even though I am really enjoying social, I don't think it's something that I'll stay in forever, but you never know. The next question I have is, what hours do you work and what is your salary? I'm not going to discuss my salary just because it's not something that I think should be discussed. I don't like talking about money. All anyone needs to know is that my money is spent not very wisely.
Give me your fucking money!
But apart from that, I can obviously give like a rough bracket, and it depends on the company, it depends on the industry. Like fashion is so in demand that social media for a fashion company and social media for like a law firm, the price is going to be completely different because everyone wants to work in fashion. everyone wants to work in music, but when you've got a company that not many people really are like, I want to work there, they will probably offer more money. So it's kind of like, you can either have the dream career and probably less money and like progress and whatever, or you can just take the big sum somewhere else. For me, I've never been money motivated or money driven. I have always would rather work in an industry where I'm passionate and want to be there. So all I will say is that the salary is probably around the same as a starting journalist. So anything between 16 to 20k is what you're looking at if you're like an intern to an assistant. And then it obviously gets higher the more you progress. Hours. What is a working hour? So for me, I don't work a 9 to 5. I don't work a certain amount of hours. There's no like, you'll work 9 till 9, you'll work 9 till 6, you'll work whatever. For me, it's you work the business needs. And obviously during the last 6 months, the business needs were super high because we were trying to keep the company in a very good place during lockdown. So the last 6 months have been really, really exhausting, but obviously really necessary. I will just say, like, for anyone that is thinking of taking a job in social media because they think it's easy or because they think it's cool or because they think it's a bit of a DOS, you're wrong. Don't do it, because I honestly think unless you are super, super determined, really want to work in the industry, really want to work in that career, you'll leave. I can hand on heart say that social has such a high turnover because people think it's easy or people think it's cool or people think it's not super high maintenance or whatever, and people leave because it's so intense. I feel like I'm a very driven person and I know what I want. So for me, the long hours are a must, because if I don't put it in, then you're not going to get anything back. So all I will say is if you want a 9 to 5 and then switch off, then social media is not for you, regardless of the industry. There is weekend work, there is evening work. There are weekends where you'll have to go to London for a shoot or you'll have to go somewhere, and it's the sacrifice that you make, and that's the sacrifice that comes with the job, unfortunately. So the next question I have, sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. The next question I have is, what made you realise that you wanted to work in the fashion industry? And if I'm being honest, it's probably because radio is really hard to get into outside of London, and I wanted to be in Manchester. I didn't want to go straight down to London because I would have felt like a really small fish in a big pond. I had reasons to be in Manchester at the time, so it just kind of went hand in hand. I knew that a lot of the fashion companies were here, so that's why I made all my CVs to Misguided, PLT, In The Style. And In The Style especially, it isn't too dissimilar to the industry that I wanted to be in anyway because of the amount of celebs and influencers that they work with. So it was a good, not stepping stone, but it was a good way for me to kind of get my foot in the door, and it worked amazing for me. It's definitely done above and beyond what I thought it could do, and I'm really, really pleased that I did it. I really am grateful for all the opportunities I've had at the company so far, and yeah. So the next question I have is, how did you apply to your job and did you get offered it straight away? So I sent out a CV. I'll probably put some print screens here. And I sent them out to loads of different brands, and I had PLT, Boohoo and In The Style come back to me. PLT could only offer me a graphic designer's job at the time, and for me that wasn't the right decision. Boohoo got back to me when I'd already started it In The Style and I didn't want to jump ship, so that was another no. And then In The Style offered me the job after my interview. So I sent them my CV on the Wednesday, I had an interview on the Thursday, got the job on the Friday and started on the Wednesday. So within a week, I'd literally applied, interviewed, got the job, moved to Manchester and started within a week, which was crazy, but it's just a very me thing to do and I don't regret it. I actually didn't apply for a job. They were hiring for a social media executive at the time, and I literally think I sat down in my interview and said, I'm not an executive, I'm fresh out of uni, I'm more of an assistant. They basically made the job for me because they wanted me, but I didn't have the experience for an executive. So someone's asked me what a typical day in my job looks like and could I vlog it? I could, but it would be really boring. So when I'm not on shoot and I'm not doing anything in the office, last 6 months when I've been in my bedroom, I literally wake up, I schedule posts, I brief stories, I post stories, I do a Q&A, I'll contact new influencers, I'll be on TikTok looking for new videos that we can do at work. Like, it's very, very, very behind the scenes stuff that people don't even think about. Like, before I worked in this industry, I wouldn't even think like, whoever's posting for this, that's their job. Like, you don't think about that sort of thing. I definitely could vlog it, but I just don't think it's very interesting. However, I could vlog a day where I'm in the studio, or I could vlog on shoot. That's completely different. And you could obviously like follow through like the getting the social, posting the social, how it all works. That's completely different, and I would be definitely up for that. But I don't think that my day-to-day is particularly exciting and anything that anyone would really want to watch. The next question is, who is your favourite celebrity that you've met? If this has to be at my current job, I would definitely say Nadine Coyle, because she was just absolutely class and really lovely. Annoyingly, I didn't get to meet Roman Kemp. I was really gutted. He came late to our event and everyone was like, oh, did you see Roman? And I was like, no, but Nadine was great and I love her. But obviously the favourite celebrity that I've ever met is obviously Harry Styles, but that wasn't while I was at InStyle, so. This is a really good question. So the next one is, how do you remain professional when you're interviewing celebrities that you're a massive fan of? Now, I know I literally just mentioned her, but when I met Nadine, I have loved Girls Aloud since I was a child, obviously. And she was the one person that I was like, oh my God, because people from Love Island are normal people. Whereas for me, Girls Aloud, like, that was my childhood. And I remember Adam coming down the stairs, my boss, and being like, Nadine's here. And as she came around the corner, I was like, okay. I like grabbed her by the wrist and was like, I've loved you since I was 7 years old. And now I've got it out of my system. It's really nice to meet you. Let's go do an interview. And I'm not going to do an Irish accent, but she was really lovely and it's just like really fun to be around. And I didn't really fangirl after I kind of got it out of my system. I don't really fangirl that much. I have worked with very big celebs in the past and know that you have to just maintain them being a normal person, because if you don't treat them like a normal person, then you're not going to really get the response that you want from them during an interview. So I think definitely working at Capital helped me a lot, because I literally watched Amy, who was a presenter in London, putting an IKEA table together with David Guetta, and they called it David Guetta Real Job, and he was literally putting this like manual labour in getting this IKEA table up. It was hilarious. And that for me, I was like, I'm watching one of the most successful DJs in the world put an IKEA table together. It was brilliant. And for me, that was like, these are just normal people. Like, why are you freaking out? Also, the state of my nail varnish is disgusting, by the way. The next two questions I'm kind of going to merge together. So someone put, do you think that job prospects in Manchester are better than other areas? And did you have to move for your job? Yes, I moved for my job. There is nothing in Worcester where I'm from. The closest thing to Worcester is probably anything in Birmingham. So Gymshark is based in Solihull, and Lounge Underwear, I think, is based in Birmingham. So if I wanted to have stayed at home and commuted, those would have been my only two options. Whereas Manchester, you have the whole of Boohoo Group. So you've got Boohoo, PLT, Nasty Gal, I Saw It First, Karen Millen, Coast. The list is endless with Boohoo Group. And you've got Misguided, which is in Trafford, and then you've got In the Style, which is in Media City. Like, everything is here. Apart from ASOS, everything is here. So it was a no-brainer for me. And I think that if you are super determined to get into the industry, you do need to be willing to move, because it doesn't matter how talented you are and how good you could be at this job. If you've got someone with your level of experience, someone with a similar degree, someone with something similar to you, and they're willing to pack up and move in a week to Manchester and you're not, they're gonna pick the other person. And I can't stress that enough, that you can sit there and ask me how I got my job. You can sit there and ask me advice, tips, any form of help. But if you're not willing to put everything in, but you're not gonna get it. Like, for me, I had to move within 3 days to get my job. Like I said, I literally interviewed, got the job, moved, took a day to view houses, took a house, moved in, started work. Like, it was crazy. And there's always going to be someone that wants what you want and wants it more. So if you're not willing to move, you're always going to struggle. So I would say, whether you're looking at Manchester, whether you're looking at London, whether you are looking at Birmingham, wherever the job that you want is, you do need to be willing to move, because if you're not, you're probably not going to get it. And I'm not saying that you can't travel to a job. I'm not saying that there isn't certain roles that you can do at home. But I just think that in such a tight-knit industry as fashion, you're going to have someone that's willing to throw everything and just move. If you're not, who are they going to pick? And the other part of the question, going back to it, the prospects are better in Manchester because most of the fast fashion companies are here. So like I said, ASOS is based in Camden in London. And I feel like Topshop, River Island, they're all in London, but then all the fast fashion brands are in Manchester. So yes, definitely, if you are looking for a job in fast fashion, probably move to Manchester. So the next one I have is, I want to work in fashion, but have done a degree in something completely unrelated. Same sis, it's okay. I feel like you can do a master's, you can go and study again. Like I nearly did a master's in marketing and I nearly did a master's in PR until I just kind of thought like, I don't want to go back to uni. And there's other ways, like work experience is something that I would just through and through suggest with trying to get your foot in the door, because you are 10 times more likely to get in somewhere if you've already got experience and if you're willing to put in unpaid work, which I know shouldn't have to be the way, but for me, if I had an interview with someone coming in for like a social media intern job, and I had someone that studied for like fashion marketing at uni but had no experience, and someone that had done just marketing but had experience at a radio station, experience at a law firm, and experience at a hairdresser's, like if they're trying to build their career and build their CV, to me that's more relevant than a relevant degree. But that's just obviously like my opinion. I don't know if I feel that way because I did journalism, so like I didn't do anything to do with fashion. But yeah, each to their own. There are ways around it, so do not panic. So I've already answered what is my favourite part of my job, but someone has asked me what is my least favourite part of my job. Out of hours work, probably. I don't like that I can't really switch off. Like there isn't a specific part of the actual job that I don't like. Like there's annoying parts of social, like scheduling isn't exciting, but it's not a bad thing. I don't wake up and think, oh, I can't be asked to do this today. But for me, like weekends or evening work, so going out for dinner, I have to have my work phone with me, but that's part of the job, I guess. So yeah, it's not a least favourite part of the job, it's just part of the job that's a bit annoying. The only time I really ever get to switch off is when I've booked annual leave. So when I do book my holiday, I literally like fully turn my work phone off and do a handover and just switch off, which is amazing. But that's the only time that I ever get to do that. So weekends I work and I come back from the office and I work. So yeah. He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. Can we just take a minute to appreciate the most elite sweet on the planet? I don't know why, they're just so good. I've got really dry mouth. I'm not very well at the moment. Don't really know what's wrong with me. Just feel a bit run down. So I'm getting my 5-year-old self back. Maybe I'm pregnant. Jokes. So I've got sweet in my mouth now. This is juicy. So someone said, is the fashion industry really bitchy because it's predominantly women? This is really interesting. I myself personally have always gotten better with boys than girls. I am a huge girls girl, but I'm very chill and I don't even know how to put it. I feel like any girl that's like, I'm really good friends with boys, I get on really well with boys, everyone's just like, slag, which is not the case. But I have always just gotten better with boys. So going into fashion, I was quite apprehensive that it would be quite bitchy and very, very female dominated. However, the people I work with, I can't stress enough, are class. Like they are so funny. They are so my type of people. And I'm very lucky that I do really, really, really enjoy the people I work with. The girls are brilliant. And there's about maybe like 50 of us in the office, the main office, when we're all in pre-COVID. And I don't think there's a single person that like I could be like, oh my God, I hate them. And there's not a single person that would say that about me. I'm a bit of Marmite, so that's fine. But I personally would say In The Style as a company isn't very bitchy. There are men that work in the company like dotted around, but it is predominantly female. But one of the words that I would describe the team as is not bitchy. It's probably, we're all just very funny. Like I always have a good laugh when I'm in the office. But if you're worried about going into fashion, I mean, I can't obviously speak for other brands because I've only worked for In The Style, but bitchy isn't a word that I would describe our company as, but it wouldn't surprise me if it is present in other companies. But obviously I'm not stirring the pot here. I'm just saying like, I don't know about other companies, but my company is not bitchy. I'm going to start wrapping it up soon, but one of the last ones is, what is the best way to get noticed when applying for a job? Do something really attention seeking. So for me, I was super poor, unemployed. I spent about £70 printing and sending off my applications to all these companies. So basically what I did was I created these 4-page CVs with all these different brand identities on them, sent them to them in the post and via email. So I would do anything I could to find these emails online. I used LinkedIn a lot. I feel like you can find any information you really need if you want to. So for me, when I was sending off my CVs, I literally just went onto LinkedIn, put in the company name, found out someone who worked as like a social or a marketing manager, and then found the address online and just sent it to them so that they would get it on their desk. And that for me worked way better than any email ever did. So I would definitely advise that. Never send it to someone's personal address because that's creepy. But yeah, definitely would just send it to the office. Just make sure that you send it to the office and not their warehouse, because I'm pretty sure I sent mine to someone at Misguided and I would think it went to their warehouse, which is not attached to their office. So double check. I'm just going to round this up with the last question and then just kind of just talk about myself. Shock. The last question is, given that you have body dysmorphia, how do you cope working in a triggering environment? And I don't think I realised until I did my last video that obviously surrounding myself with size 6 foot models obviously does make you feel a bit shit about yourself. But obviously, like I said in my last video, they are my friends, so I'm not like exactly jealous of them because obviously they're amazing people and I'm really close with them. But I think that I take everything with a shovel of salt. There are a lot of people that do edit their photos, and there are a lot of people that aren't as confident as you might think they are, and there's just a lot more that goes on behind the scenes that anyone could probably realise. So for me, I just take everything with a pinch of salt because I know that Instagram isn't reality. Instagram isn't everyone's day-to-day, and I just kind of take it from there, really. I'm very headstrong in the fact that even though I'm not confident in my body, I'm confident in my job. So I don't really tie the two together. Like, I know that I have a very good skill set when it comes to like Photoshop and editing videos, obviously. And just like, I know I'm good at my job. So there's a difference between me associating myself at work and like making myself feel bad with my body dysmorphia because of the people I work with. I don't really know if that makes sense, but it makes sense in my head. But yeah, so that's enough. I feel like I've literally rambled on. I feel like I've answered the same 20 questions over and over again, but I hope that this helps a little bit. I'm definitely going to do another video just about my CV and the process of making that another time. This has taken me so long because I kept running out of storage, so if the camera's all over the place, that's why. But I hope that this has kind of given anyone that's looking for a job similar to mine any help, tips, advice, and just a bit of like a step in the right direction, because I feel like everyone that is looking to get into this industry is so competitive that if you're like struggling for like inspo or a way to get in, just know that there are so many ways. Just do it in the best way that you can. That's all I can advise. Be yourself, stand out in your own way, all the pieces will fall into place. That's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't want to work in fashion, thanks for watching, especially because this would have been very boring. If you don't follow me already, you can head over to my socials, ask me any more questions. If I didn't answer your question, or if there's anything else that I haven't really touched base on, then please do just drop me a DM and I will get back to you. If you haven't watched my other 2 videos, I've got a assumptions video and a body dysmorphia video. Head to my channel now and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!
Not from the top, make it drop. That's a wet ass pussy. Now get a bucket and a mop. That's a wet ass pussy. I'm talking wop, wop, wop. That's a wet ass pussy. Macaroni in a pot. That's a